Dr. Fred Muhumza, an economist from Makerere University, says Uganda is stressed by the accumulating debts.
The structure is so heavily skewed to the short term, which is the domestic debt, and to higher interest rates, what we call non-concessional debt. That is actually, for me, the bigger problem, because it means up to 20% and more of our revenues is going into debt service. Now that characterizes a country that is debt stressed and no longer debt sustainable. The problem we have is the short-term debt, which is domestic borrowing. Government bonds, both treasury bills and fiscal bonds. Now when you look at these, a lot of them are 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, a little bit of 10 and 15 years. But they are highly priced, ranging from 10% to 15%.
Some loans, however, cannot be restructured, as Muhumza explains.
This one is considered as a loan, but pegged to an export. So China will be saying, I actually exported to you services to do the expressway. So in that loan, I lent you money to buy skills from me, vehicles from me, steel from me. Only soil is bought here. Everything literally comes from China. And I've had people complaining and saying, why are Chinese bringing everything when we have it here? That was the nature of the loan. The loan was considered by China as an export of labor from China, of steel from China, of cement from China, of the vehicles. Now that cannot be restructured because it's not a loan, it's an export.
Dr. Muhumza also says it's now hard for Uganda to apply for debt cancellation.
They're having a problem with that because debt cancellation, debt relief is no longer your own prerogative as a borrower. Your lender also has to agree to that. Now, Uganda has already been there. 20 years ago, we got debt forgiveness. It's basically cancellation. The first was the Highly Indebted Poor Country Initiative by the World Bank and IMF and African Development Bank mainly. And then there was the Multilateral Debt Relief Initiative in 2004. The other one was around 1998 and 2000. So between that period of 1998 and 2004, Uganda was forgiven debts equivalent to over $4.3 billion. And our debt stock came down to less than $1 billion. Now you can see 20 years, 15 years down the road, we've moved from less than 1 billion to 15 billion. Now, many people who forgave us our debt are the same people we borrowed from. So once beaten, twice shy. They are saying, look at these fellows. You must be having a problem with yourselves. We just forgave you a while ago. You have gone back, and now you are reaching levels where you are unable to pay. Should we forgive you again? That is one side. But also the other thing that has changed is we have added on more lenders who were not there. We've put in bilateral lenders. We've put in private sector lenders who never forgive debt. By nature of their business, lending is their personal business.
Although Uganda is growing, it has not yet reached the level at which it can pay back the huge debts, Dr. Muhumza adds.
We have grown, but not as fast as it is required for us to generate the flows that will meet our current needs, but also pay back the debt. Now, where Uganda is, we're having a shortfall on both. That our tax revenues cannot meet our current needs, meaning we need to borrow more, but also our current revenues are not able to generate sufficient funds to pay the debt. So we are borrowing more to pay the debt and borrowing more to meet our current needs. That's a very difficult situation that we must address as a country.
By February 2020, Uganda's public debt had hit 48.91 trillion, but the government needs to assess the huge debt implication on Uganda's economy. Sarah Nabakoza for Smart 24 TV Prime News.